Welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Techelet number 44, the position of Moshe Lichtenstien. In Kush, of Lichtenstien, of Meidan, of Gigi, the Rosh Yeshiva are wearing Techelet, each one of them. If I'm not mistaken, of Aaron Lichtenstein Zatzal, of Amital Zatzal did not, but the present 3 Rosh Yeshiva do. Rav Moshe holds the following. He says that there's different ways in general we have Psak Halacha. You have the 500 years ago, a fasting machlok between the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah, and the Maharshal. The Shulchan Aruch had a system of psak. You have the 3 giants, Rambam, Rif Rosh. You take the 2 out of 3 of them, or 3 out of 3. While the Ramah says we have a Masorah, you go by the Masorah, and the Maharshal says no, you go through the Sugi and learn the Sugi. There's no rules, no Masorah. Let's go. He had a lot more independence than the Maharshal. He says over here, or Moshe says over here, we don't really have a Masorah. 1 blue string, 2 blue strings, 4 blue strings, we don't have a Masorah. And then in terms of a rule of psak, what rule of psak would we have over here? So maybe you'll say that you go Ashkenazim, go by the tradition Masorah, but we don't really have the Masorah. So do we leap back all the way to the Tosfos? So Moshe's leaning is that we don't really have Masorah, and therefore you have the Rambam, Ravid, and the Rambam versus Ravid of Moshe leans towards the Rambam. Rambam plays a much greater role in Psak Halacha. We've embraced the Rambam Shlita certainly a lot more than the Ravid. So it's Rambam versus Ravid, leaning is towards the Rambam. So Moshe personally does wear 1 string out of 4, 1 out of 8 like the Rambam. So it means it's a half a string, half of one of the 4 strings are dyed blue. Then when it's wrapped through, it's 1 blue string out of 8. And that's what he holds. Regarding the tying, he maintains that any way one ties you will be Yotze. But here it's fascinating. He says the idea of having a double knot, 5 double knots, and then having the wrappings in between those 5 double knots, not like the Rambam has, where he just has a knot in the beginning at the end and Moshe, and then he has just the windings. He says the idea of having double knots and 5 of them, that we have a Masorah, that's what we do. So if you could keep that Masorah, then Matovu Mana'im, and therefore he has the 5 double knots. But the question is, how do you wrap the blue and the white in between? You have the Chinuch Shita, you have the Gra Shita. So if Moshe leans towards the Gra, he says for Lithuanian Jews, that is very much a center psak for us, the Gra. Not everyone follows all the Piskei Halachot of the Gra, but still he plays a very prominent role. And therefore, the Gra has a 4, 4, 4, and 1 in terms of the kricha, the windings. So it alternates between blue and white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, then it ends up with white. So you start off with white like the Gemara says, finish with white like the Gemara says, and then you're going to have altogether 4 in between, each of the knots, and the final one's going to be 1, which has 13, because the Gemara says don't have more than 13, and that refers to the Huliot, and that's how Rav Moshe has it. 1 blue string, then tying 13 Huliot, like the Gra, with 5 double knots spread out. It starts over the white, finishes with white, and then alternating a blue Hulia, white Hulia, blue Hulia, white Hulia. Shalom.